Hi everyone, welcome to another 5-Minute Friday. In today's video, I would like to talk about email marketing and why it should be more like the New York Times. Let me explain. So this morning I got an email with the subject line, "This month at Pearson Spector." Obviously that's a made-up name because it was a former client of mine who sent this email. But the point is, I didn't open it, and neither did most of their subscribers, I'm sure. And that gets us to today's topic. Why your email marketing should be more like the New York Times and less like your regular business bulletin board. In this attention economy, we compete with the likes of Netflix, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and not just other businesses anymore. So a generic subject line like monthly newsletter or our February newsletter just really ignore today's reality. And I would like to bring everyone's attention to that. Media organizations have really mastered the craft of attention grabbing because they survive on it. So for example, the New York Times wouldn't title an article "This Week's News." That would make no sense, nobody would read it. They craft compelling headlines. In email, you're basically a publisher fighting for attention and not just another business sending out your regular update. So the first thing I want to talk about is subject lines. The subject line is the only thing, and of course also the sender of the email, that combination is the only thing that will determine if somebody will actually read your email. And this subject line should promise specific value and also create curiosity. I'll give you a contrasting example. A bad subject line would be "New white paper available." Doesn't really tell us a lot. A better subject line would be "The strategy that cut manufacturing costs by 37%, between parentheses, new research." This tells you exactly what to expect in this email. So a basic format would be, first you tell people what it is, and next you tell them why they should care. So just remember that your subject line isn't just a label, it's your only chance to get your email opened. Now, for the email itself, the New York Times also doesn't use generic section names or headers within their articles. Each article has many headlines that will keep you reading. Some email examples, and I'll start with a week example, would be "latest updates" or "new team member." A stronger example would be "former Tesla engineer joins to lead our AI initiative." These aren't just labels, these are micro persuasion opportunities. Each subheading would want to make you read a little bit longer. And the key point here is, every line of text should justify its existence by maintaining interest. If it doesn't do that, the line should be cut. Keep in mind that when somebody opens your email, usually the first thing they do is they will just scan it. So all of those different headlines that you have within your email, those are the first thing that people will see, together with any images within the email. So this really is a mental shift that I suggest. And it's not just about clever wording, it's really a fundamental mindset shift. You're not just distributing information, you're competing for valuable attention. Just like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and everyone else is these days. So the New York Times thinks, why would someone read this? Not what do we want to say? So you really try to do things from the perspective of your customer, of the recipient of your email. So in HubSpot terms, for example, that means testing your subject lines, doing A/B tests on your subject lines. Analyze the open rates, because the open rates will show you how your subject line did. And treat every element as a conversion opportunity. This approach works both for B2B and B2C. And the key point here is, don't think like a company sending emails. Really think like a publisher whose survival depends on engagement. So I'll leave you with a closing challenge here. Open your HubSpot account or whatever email account that you use for marketing emails and find your last email campaign. Rewrite the subject line and section headers within the email as if you were a journalist at the New York Times. Then A/B test this approach against your usual approach and I guarantee you'll see a difference. Let me know in the comments how this approach changed your results, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye.